Hey guys, happy Saturday. I hope everyone is having a wonderful weekend. And thanks for being here. Miss Jessica and Jordan and Mitchell. Hi guys. Thank you so much for being here. So, how's everybody doing? All this craziness going on. Yeah, I had a crazy week. I'll tell you that. I had some emotional breakdown yesterday at the doctor's, or well, even before I got to the doctor's, and I'm like, I need to get on and we need to get this conversation going about healthcare because it's beyond frustrating. And I'm going to probably go on a little bit of a rant here. But if you guys, those of you that know my story about my medical stuff, and I have CRPS, I've had both my hips replaced. I went through years and years of pain. I dealt with ridiculous doctors who, the minute you tell them you're in pain, they don't hear anymore after that. They just automatically make an assumption that you're a drug seeker and you're this and that. As soon as one doctor thinks that and puts it in your chart, it follows you everywhere. And I dealt with that for 6 years. And I've said to many people, I've said it on my lives, that the doctor that I had that put in my pain pump saved my life. And when I say that, it's because after going on my 6th year of immense pain, not knowing what was wrong or causing it, no doctor willing to look anywhere besides judge me. The minute they hear I'm in pain, they just, so many doctors, I can't even remember how many doctors I had seen by then. It was so many. And I was exhausted. Hey, Allie says, I'm so sorry for all the bullshit you've been through in the medical system. It can damn near break you down. Exactly. And so before I tell you what happened yesterday, which is why I didn't end up going live yesterday, was like, just in case there's someone listening or listens on replay someday, some way down the road, and wants to get to know a little bit more about me, hasn't heard this before, that, I was going on 6 years post 2 hip replacements, had both of them done. I had them done 8 months apart in 2015 and 16. After my left hip surgery, which was the first one, I did great. My left hip was out of pain. It was wonderful. And just in case you don't know the story behind that, I do have severe osteoarthritis. And I had suffered for years in that kind of pain with doctors like, you're too young, you just have, I was told so much different crap. It was like, oh, you have tendonitis that never healed, or, oh, you just, you strained your groin, and I did have a labral, I always say it wrong and people laugh at me, tear, which is a ligament in your hip, repair in 2012 in my left hip. I was constantly told that it was something without him doing tests, without them anything. They just simply heard I'm in pain, looked at my age, took an x-ray and was like, it's not broken. So you're fine. When I finally sought out a hip surgeon who ordered a specialized MRI, found that I had almost no cartilage left. in my left hip, it was basically a huge hole where my bones were grinding on bone and my bones were becoming necrotic. So they were black on the ends. Think about how much pain that had to have been like. That was the start of all my pain problems. Hi, Kristen. So good to see you guys. So when I finally got some actual testing, a doctor to look beyond my age and beyond the fact that I was expressing that I'm in pain and I needed to know what was wrong. Can you fix it? Yeah. Yeah, ouch is right, Mitchell. So my surgeon then did the same MRI on my right hip because my right hip hurt, but it wasn't nearly as bad as my left. And when one pain is worse, kind of all the rest of your pain goes away. Like that one pain takes over. So I never even addressed my right hip pain. So we ended up doing an MRI on both just to see the difference. And it turns out there wasn't much of a difference. My cartilage was almost gone on my right hip. And he's like, if you're going to do one, you got to do them both. So I'm like, well, let's do it. Let's get me out of fucking pain. Okay? Please get me out of pain. Hi, Scott. Hey, Allie says, I give you major props for continuing to fight for yourself in the face of doctors repeatedly fucking with your head. Thank you, Allie, because that's what they do, and that's why I want to talk about it. And I think what's really getting me, going to talking about is everyone that I've come in contact with here that is like telling me they've gone through something similar, or maybe it's not pain, but it's like mental health or anxiety or ADD, and they're just dealing with crap doctors who don't want to prescribe anything because it's a controlled substance. They don't want to even look at you as a person anymore. That's how I feel and felt for a really long time. If I can help spread some awareness, if I can help someone speak up to their doctor, because sometimes that's all you can do is advocate for yourself to get somewhere in the healthcare field, to like get a doctor, and if I can even inspire one person who might be at their wit's end like I was, to keep fighting. And I am sorry if you guys can hear that. I don't know. Oh, it just went off. So I have that'll be the whole story. You're going to hear an alarm. There's an alarm that keeps going off in my pump, but that's the story about yesterday. And I'll come to that. But yeah, I want to do this because yesterday was a big reminder of the 6 years that I dealt with the shit post my right hip surgery. And so what happened is I had my left hip surgery replacement done, and I did great. My left hip had no issues. The pain was immensely better. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do the right hip. Let's go. So I had that one done 8 months later. Problem was with that one, I didn't have any relief. I actually was worse. I was in worse pain after that. So, hold on. Allie says, oh, you're so sweet. You're so amazing. I've never come across anyone who has had a similar experience as me with the medical system. It's a complete shit show. Exactly, Allie. Exactly. It is a shit show. And the amount of grief that the doctors nowadays make patients suffer because of their and the sad thing is it stems all the way back to the opiate epidemic. And the problem's not just become opiates, it's become any controlled substance now. Doctors have become so fearful about losing their license that they don't even care about taking care of their patients anymore. They just throw up their hands and like, I'm never going to write a good prescription. Do you know how many doctors I came across? And I listened to pain clinics who refused to prescribe a controlled substance. Hi, blessed Texas. So, and I've had my pump for almost actually, it'll be 4 years in October. And so what happened to me yesterday really brought me back to those days. And that's why it was like, I want to talk about this. I've talked about it a little bit before, but I just really want to talk about it. Because it's obviously not getting any better. And it's a sad, sad thing that the people who started all this with the big pharma spreading lies about the OxyContin not being addictive is really what started it. The problem is you can't blame them for doctors now being assholes. You just can't. This has been 20 years this stuff's been going on. You gotta take responsibility for your patients. You have to accept the fact that you became a doctor to help people. And ignoring your patients who need a controlled substance to have some sort of some sort of something that resembles a decent life. You just can't do that. You can't ignore those patients who may need a pain medication or a benzodiazepine or an amphetamine in regards to like Adderall for other conditions. It's become so, I don't even know the word for it. It's just ridiculous that so many doctors just throw their hands up and it's like, screw that. I'm just going to save myself by never ever prescribing a controlled substance. And that's what they do now. It's really, really sad. Hypocritical, all of you, that's for sure. That's a good one, Mitchell. I mean, even when I was back before I got my pump and I was post-op, my right hip surgery, trying to figure out what was wrong. It really, my biggest problem started then because my surgeon, even though he was a great surgeon, was like, after a certain amount of time, he couldn't keep prescribing medications because, now there's a limit on how long a surgeon can treat post-op pain. And he couldn't figure out why I was still in so much pain. So he assumed that I was just addicted to the medication. But that wasn't it. I was in a lot of pain. And by now, like, I mean, I would say about, because I think he was maxed out at prescribing me anything at 90 days. I think he was allowed to help me not for 3 months after post-op. And by then they still reduce you. Like every month they drop you down so that you can come off of it. You don't even have to take it for 3 months. I've seen people being that I work for an orthosurgeon now for years, I've seen people have knee replacements and hip replacements and shoulder replacements come off opiate medication in a couple days. Because normally that's what's supposed to happen. The surgery pain is all you should be recovering from post-op. The problem comes when something like what happened to me happens, but I didn't know any of this back then. So here's me knowing how much pain I'm in. And every doctor that I would try to go see, once my surgeon stopped helping me, was like, "You're just a drug seeker. You're a drug seeker. You shouldn't be in this much pain." Well, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't be in this much pain, but I am. And I don't give a shit about the pain medication. I want you to figure out what's wrong so you can fucking fix it. And trigger warning, I swear, if anyone ends up new to the channel, I do swear the F word likes to fly out of my mouth now and then. So yeah. Hi, 420. Scott says, have PCP Monday, Tuesday. Go see second heart doctor out of town. I feel like a pharmacy. Find out after August my blood pressure reading on legs and arms and toes about my next surgery. Oh, well, Scott, best of luck to you. Lots of prayers. My big heart goes out to you. Truly, I hope all goes well. Please keep us, updated on how things are going, okay? It's not easy. My mom had a heart disease. She had a mitral stenosis. And I'm not going to go into what all that is. If you know, if not. It's basically, if you know what aortic stenosis is, and it's one of the valves in your heart where it doesn't open properly. And so the blood flow doesn't, flow properly. I could get into it, but I'm not going to do that. Not today, anyway. My mom had a lot of things. Heart disease. She had rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis. And I'll be honest, she is one of the biggest reasons I did make it as long as I did. Because she never stopped going with me, even with all her stuff, to doctors. Doctor after doctor after doctor. Plus, she was always my hero. Growing up with her, knowing when I was 6 years old, she was told she'd never walk again. She was in a wheelchair. And my dad left. And my mom was like, fuck that. I got 2 kids to take care of, so I need to walk. So 6 months later, she was walking again with 80% numbness in her feet from the multiple sclerosis. And she did very well. I mean, she used a cane when she'd have a relapse with the MS. But she never used it permanently until about 3 years before she passed. She started using her walker. It was pretty sad that it was only 6 months before she passed away that she got a riding, electric wheelchair. She hated that thing. Oh boy, did she hate that thing. But that's a story for another day, because I will cry some more if I keep talking about my mom. I miss her so much. See, even bringing her up for a minute, just so sorry, guys. Anyways, this is not for that today. So anyway, let me say hi. Let's see what's going on, and then I'll get back to it. Allie says, my pain doc was going to put in a baclofen pump as well as a spinal cord stimulator for my failed cervical neck surgery, and now he's wanting me to jump through all kinds of hoops. I'm ready to give up. Allie, don't give up. That's all I can say. Trust me when I tell you I know how hard it is. God, do I know how hard it is. And it's so easy for me on this side of everything to say don't give up. I know. But all I can say is, first and foremost, if you ever need to reach out, please do. Um, and there are some good doctors out there. Unfortunately, it just takes way too long to find them. And that's where we have the problem. Because when someone needs something for pain to even have a normal life, let's take me and my mom, even my mom. My mom was in her 70s when she passed. For the few years before she passed, she had broken her knee 3 times. The third time is what really spiraled things. But even my mom at 72 years old was being told by her doctor, like, I need to wean you off pain medication. And mind you, she also had a failed back surgery. She had a ruptured disc in her back that they had to do surgery twice on within 3 days, because the first surgery, they didn't get all the pieces. So when they did the post-op MRI, they realized they had to go back in. And my mom before the back surgery, even with her MS and rheumatoid arthritis, never took a pain pill on a regular basis, ever. Ever. She never took it daily, ever. She'd only take it when absolutely necessary. And within the last three years is when she really started taking it on a regular basis. And within a year, about a year and a half before she passed, her doctor was like, I need you to basically to wean you down to the bare minimum, because he wasn't prescribing those dosages anymore, is what he said. And it wasn't even a lot. At that point, she was still only on, she was only prescribed like, I think 3 Percocets, 3 10-milligram Percocets a day she was allowed. And she didn't even take that. Even when I told her to, she wouldn't do it. She was like, no, I can make it. No, I can make it. But my mom was always so fearful, too, of not having something when she really, really needed it, because she knew that her doctors were like trying to wean her down to the bare minimum. And it's like, when someone is in their 70s who has the kind of conditions that my mom did, documented for 30, 40 years, and a doctor can't even prescribe for a person like that just to have the best life she possibly can, it's disgusting. It's disgusting when a person like that can't have a medication that will have her help her have a better life. She never took it irresponsibly. So what? Why? Hold on, you guys. Oh, okay. Scott says, I will not be online Monday very much. And Tuesday, Mom coming down to take us. Okay, Scott. Well, like I said, thoughts and prayers with you, and keep us updated. Yes, keep us posted. Thank you, Scott. Ellie says, Scott, that's rough. I remember you posting about being at the docks a lot in Melanie's lives. Yes, please keep us updated. And Scott says, I have 2 heart doctors. Ooh, that's hard. It's hard when you have to have so many doctors. That's another thing. And this kind of just goes back into all of what I wanted to talk about, was because when you can't even have a family doctor prescribe you something, like let's say you go to your family doctor and you're in pain and it's for a legitimate reason, like you just had surgery, or you just broke your arm, or you have some post-op pain that your doctor, your surgeon can no longer prescribe for, right? Your family doctor should know you well enough to know that, hey, okay, well, this is what you were taking. If you're still in pain, let me monitor something, something even small. I understand that. Just keep track of it until we can get you into like a pain clinic. Because here in Michigan, it takes forever to find a pain clinic nowadays. And not only to find a pain clinic, no less, that will prescribe you more than Motrin 800 and lidocaine patches, which I talked about the other day. It's like, seriously, I can go to fucking Walgreens and get this shit. You think I haven't tried this 100 times before? You know? So, and the whole reason for internists, family doctors, is so that they know your entire history, right? That isn't that the point of family doctors, so that they're your overall seer, you know? They get their reports from your, say, cardiologist or your rheumatologist or your neurologist, you know? Like, that's where everything is in one place, is your family doctor. At least that's how it's supposed to be. At least that's how it used to be. So all these internists now, family doctors, who literally refuse to ever even write a script for a controlled substance is my problem. Because it should be based on your patient, not on your fear of your license. You should be treating your patients individually. I'm sorry. If any doctor someday comes across this post, this live, whatever, please start treating patients like individuals. And stop. My biggest complaint besides that is stop labeling someone immediately a drug seeker just because they're on opiate pain medication and they're telling you they're still in pain. So anyway, before I get back into my story about what happened yesterday, let me see what you guys are saying. Allie says, do they have any clue what's going on, or are they just having a hard time treating you? Good question. Yep, your mom is a warrior. Thank you. I miss my mom and dad daily. Yeah, blessed. My mom and I were best friends. I miss her so much. That's why I can't even talk about her without crying. I haven't truly, I'll be honest, I've talked about this a little bit before, but I don't think I've truly grieved her being gone. That's all. It's, yeah. Scott says, have implantable cardioverter defibrillator. My mom had, oh my God, BFib. You know how many cardioversions she had? 22. She had 22 cardioversions because her mitral stenosis and all that, and her AFib. When she went into AFib, she knew. She knew right away. She didn't even have to check. She would just, by the time around her 10th cardioversion, she'd just call her cardiologist and be like, I'm in AFib. She just knew. She could feel it in her body. And if you don't know what a cardioversion is, it's basically when your heart goes into an irregular rhythm. It's not in sinus rhythm. They basically put you to sleep and shock you so that your heart will go back into sinus rhythm. Basically what they show on TV when you're flatlined, because they technically don't really do that when you're flatlined, or when you're BFib. So the shocking puts you back into regular sinus rhythm when your heartbeat is still beating, but it's irregular. So my mom had 22 of those in about, mm, trying to think when her first one was. Her first one was like, I think, well, she found out. Okay, so this is how she ended up with first time she ever had AFib and all that. When I got married, right before I got my wedding, my mom found out she had a blood clot, a huge one on her heart. So she was put on Coumadin and had to take blood thinners for 20 some years. So it was right around then. So in about 20 some years, she had 22 cardioversions. So think about that. Basically one a year. It's insane. Um, my mom's cardiologist called my mom um, his miracle patient with the size of that um, blood clot. I was just happy to have my mom at my wedding in 2001. So when I tell you people that my mom went through hell and back and why she's my hero, think about the things that I told you she dealt with already, plus that. That was years ago. And she had other things throughout the years. Those are the biggest ones. Um, and that's why I say, oh, hope I can I'm going to try and get through this without crying. But I think that's why when I said, if you guys were listening to when I did talk a little bit about my mom, was that I do think that she just finally had enough. And she didn't want to be in pain anymore because she had a rough time at her last few years. So yeah. Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say about my mom because I just get too emotional talking about her. Allie says, thank you, girl. It means so much more than you know. Yeah, please, ever, anyone, Allie, you and anyone else's. I did open a new Discord. Well, it's not, and I do need to express that when I said I deleted my whole Discord, I thought I did. Apparently, I did not. I only deleted all the channels and my channel and that. So when I went back in the other day, I realized that I still had it. So I did start a new one. I had sent an invite to a few people. Um, I don't even know who got an invite and who didn't, because I think I just sent them out to friends at this point. But I'm not anxious to get it all back into Discord. It's really just about being able to message certain people because it's the only way I can message them. Um, but you have my emails in my bio. My Discord DM is open. So if you ever feel like reaching out, please do. Allie says, Scott, that's a lot. I had no idea. My dad had a lot of heart problems, which then led to severe anxiety. Just having to deal with doctors on a regular basis is such a pain in the ass. Yes. Oh, Allie, I'm sorry. I'm so behind. It says I'll be back. Okay, Allie, we'll see you when you get back, sweetie. So yeah, so if you're interested, I'll get back to my story about what happened yesterday. So getting back to my reasons why, I really think healthcare needs a wake-up call. Doctors need a wake-up call about patients who may need a controlled substance to have a somewhat of a life. And hi, old dog. Good to see you. Just talking a little bit about my medical history today, talking about why I had a meltdown yesterday, why it reminded me what I felt like way back 4 years ago when I was at my wit's end. and I didn't think I'd be able to make it much longer. And why I told people the doctor who finally diagnosed me, put in my pain pump, saved my life. It's been a while since I've truly, truly felt that anxiety and frustration and anger like so viscerally, like I did yesterday. And so what happened yesterday is my doctor, the one that put in my pump and diagnosed me, left his practice at the end of last year. So mind you, I get my pump filled every 3 months. So I don't have to go 4 times a year. They just stick a needle in my back, right into the machine, and put the meds in. It's that simple. So my doctor that I've been seeing for now was 3 years by this point, left his practice. He said he had to move back to he was from, can't remember which country, but he's from Europe somewhere. So he had to go back there and help family. So the doctor that he was leaving his practice to didn't do pain pumps. He only did DRG stimulators. That's speaking of stimulators, Allie, when she comes back, I'll have to hopefully remember to talk to her about that. He did injections, they do pain medicine, but he wasn't going to do pumps. So all of his pump patients he had to send elsewhere. So I was sent to a new doctor in January when my pump needed to be filled. Okay. This doctor recommended me to this doctor. I went in a little leery. I was hysterical when I found out my doctor was leaving his practice because I had so much anxiety going back to thinking what I might have to go through if I find a shitty doctor that is going to be the one taking over, right? So I saw the new doctor in January. Now, at the same time, I had another problem. I used to have different insurance. I go through the marketplace because I'm self-employed. All my jobs are self-employment. They have been for the last year. So it's been over a year since I had Ambetter. So anyway, I had Ambetter by Meridian through the marketplace. It was great insurance. Not to mention, they have a program where you can earn prizes and money, a bunch of free shit just by taking their online health courses, free online health courses, doing your yearly checkups. I mean, it was amazing the kind of stuff that you could earn by just doing stuff that has good for your healthcare, and it's all free. I ended up with a $150 gift card my first year with it. It was so awesome. So anyway, Ambetter Meridian by Meridian stopped covering Southeast Michigan at the end of last year. So they told me that they'd be switching me over to something equivalent. And with my Ambetter and my credit based on my income, I paid $1. My premium per month was $1. And it was great. My insurance was excellent, people. I can't tell you enough. If you have Ambetter by Meridian available, definitely recommend. It was awesome. Anyways, apparently they switched me over to Blue Cross. So when I saw my doctor in January, they took my Blue Cross information. Not a big issue. I had no problems really in January. Oh no, I take it back. That's when it all started. I take it back. So I didn't even have my card yet. So when I went to the doctor, I'm like trying to remember exactly what happened. So, because I just know that they canceled my Blue Cross. And that's how I found out, was by going to the doctors and trying to get my pump billed. And when they took my information from my Blue Cross, They were like, it says it's not active. So I had to call them literally in the waiting room. Like, I was switched to you at the end of the year. You know, what's going on? And they're like, well, you didn't pay your premium, so you were canceled for non-payment. Hi, Barry Namelo. I like your handle. Welcome. Um, so anyway, while I was on the phone with them in my doctor's office, I said, you know, I didn't even know I had a premium because I was only sent a letter stating that I was being given an equivalent insurance, that it was going to be switched to Blue Cross. I never got a bill. What are you talking about? My premium was only $1 with Ambetter, blah, blah, blah. So my doctor this new doctor, this is my first time at this new doctor, was like, you know, just get your insurance situated, because thankfully at this point it was still open enrollment. They granted me an extension for the open enrollment so I could pick a new one. So they filled my pump that day. This new doctor took over, adjusted my pump settings, which they normally do every 3 months in case I need it. So I went home from that appointment, got a hold of the marketplace, switched my insurance. And I said this on there. I said, when I called them, I said, I need one that's actually equivalent within the price range. And I said, the only other thing I absolutely need is these two doctors. I gave them my psychiatrist and my pain doctor. I said, that's all I care about. These two doctors, whatever insurance you offer me, these two doctors have to take. He's like, okay. She gave me 3 options. And only one out of the 3 options was less than $50 a month. So, of course, I'm going to take the one that's free. A little higher of deductible and stuff like that. But my cost of living and stuff that I do right now, based on my income, I can't afford $50 a month. I can't. So I told him, sure, no problem. I have 3 months to figure it out, right? And this was in the beginning of January. So the end of March comes along, and I go to the doctor's office. I chose the United Healthcare one they offered me. I go to the office, and they're like, we tried to get a hold of you. Your insurance, we don't take your insurance. I'm like, what? It's like, you're kidding me, right? I was like, I literally made this the only stipulation. I called you guys to verify you took this plan, United Healthcare. You told me yes. And they were like, well, it's some specific plan through United Healthcare that they don't take. And I'm like, well, anyway, not to go into a big long story about that. Somehow I got on a really weird plan that like literally nobody takes. Nobody. My pharmacy doesn't even take the damn insurance, if that tells you anything. And how this lady thought that this was in any way a good idea to not only lie to me that my doctors took this insurance, but to then say, she told me, she's like, it's one of the best ones in Michigan, blah, 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 blah. Wow. To then find out, not only do my doctors not take it, my pharmacy doesn't take it. So now I owe, because now they're like, this is 2 appointments in a row for a new doctor that now I owe them a shit ton of money, right? So they're like, before your next appointment, we're not even going to make you an appointment for your next pump bill because until you have your insurance figured out. And I'm like, well, I'll take care of it. right away. So I immediately went home from that appointment and contacted them. Because now it's not open enrollment, I have to put in an appeal to not only change my insurance, to then go back and have it retroacted for my prior appointments. Problem is by my pump's due in here in June. So brings us up to today. I have been waiting for my appeal and approval to change my insurance and this and that to come through, and it still hasn't. I called my doctor's office a few weeks ago and said, I don't have the $300 for my appointment because you guys told me I couldn't come in without paying my past $300 balance or different insurance. And I said, I'm still in the appeal phase and I don't have $300 yet. I said, what do I do? I said, when I'm trying to come up with the money, how long will it take me to get an appointment? I said, so hopefully I can have it in a couple weeks. And she said, well, just call us when you do. We'll make an appointment. We get you in probably within a day or two. Okay, that's fine. So, going through all this that I'm dealing with right now, I'm trying to save a couple dollars here and there to come up with $300 to not only pay the past due, but then I have to come up with another $150 for the office visit for the new one to get my pump built for this month. So then I call them because Wednesday, my pump low reservoir button or alarm started going off. And I was like, seriously, what do I do? You guys told me I can't come in without the money. My low reservoir is now beeping. You can't let it empty. Like it'll screw up the pump to let it completely empty. I've already had to have my pump replaced once when the catheter broke way back in March of 2022. So they're like, okay, well, let me see. Let me talk to the doctor. I'll call you back. Then I'm told this is where my breakdown starts. Because then I'm told by the girl at the desk who answered the phone. She calls me back and she says, well, can you come in today at 11? The doctor is going to switch you over to oral meds because we don't have your meds for your pump. And I was like, what? How do you not have my meds? My prior doctor always just ordered my meds when it was due. Like they always had it in the office so that when 3 months, my fill date was due, they already had it in their office ready to go. So even if I didn't have an appointment, I could call and say, hey, I'm due. I need an appointment, and they'd get me in. So when I called this doctor's office a few weeks ago and expressed to them, like, hey, my pump's almost due. You guys know this. I don't have the money yet. What do I do? They never once said, hey, we didn't order your meds either. Never. And to me, I'm literally like, hey, my last doctor always had my meds because they just go by the due date to have it in the office. Why would I automatically think to ask if they had my meds a couple weeks ago when I called them, right? This, to me, I'm thinking my meds are there. I just needed the money. And they never told me otherwise. So yesterday when I called them, and I'm like, my pump is beeping. I don't know what to do. I don't have the money yet. Can you ask the doctor if you can fill it? Can I play a portion of it? What do I need to do to make sure my pump doesn't go bad by emptying? Not to mention going through pain and withdrawal from it not having medication in it. And when she calls me back, she tells me, can you come in by 11? Mind you, this call, when she called me back, it was 10:15. And I'm like, no, I can't make it by 11. I don't have enough money even to get an Uber right now to you. Like literally, I don't. She's like, well, how do you expect to get here or get your pump filled if you can't get a ride? And I said, it's not about that. I said, I can get a ride. I said, I just don't have the money to get an Uber to get there in less than 45 minutes. And she's like, okay, can you make it by 1? I said, well, yes, I can. Let me just get a ride. So, okay. And then I didn't think to ask her. So I called back and I asked her and I said, what is it going to take for you guys to order my meds so that my pump can get filled? And this is where I flipped out because the lady on the phone goes, we're not ordering your meds. We're not going to be filling your pump again. I'm like, what? Excuse the fuck out of me? I was like, no. You cannot do that to me. No. And already I'm crying. My anxiety is going crazy because all I can do is flash back to what I went through before I had my pain pump. I'm like, you cannot do this to me. Please, God, no. And the reason I'm telling this story too is because if there is anyone out there listening or that does listen that works in a doctor's office, please don't lie to the patients on the phone. I was told that they would not do my pump because I didn't pay. And that he wasn't going to do it again because I owed too much back money. And I'm literally thinking, how can you ruin a person's life over $300? $300 fucking dollars, and you're going to tell me you're going to take away something that saved my fucking life? Are you kidding me? So then I wait for my ride, who I have to give a big shout out to Moni G. She's the one who took me. She took me to my last appointment, knew what happened to me back then. She's awesome. She listened to me cry, scream, helped me get through it, took me to the doctors. We get to the office and I've been crying for 2 hours. And I was like, first and foremost, when I forgot to tell this part of the story. When I called them about my pump to see what to do before all this happened, I asked them, I said, I don't know what to do because the last person I talked to about this last month, the girl in the office was so rude to me. So rude to me. I said, I've been scared to call to tell you I don't have the money. But now my pump is beeping and I need help. And they told me she didn't work there anymore. So I was like, oh, thank God. But then the next person who did call me back, whoever that was, told me doctor's not going to be filling my pump ever again. And I'm like, I mean, the amount of anxiety and shit she caused me for 3 hours of worrying and freaking out by saying that. Because then when I get to the doctors, the girl at the front desk obviously wasn't the one from a couple months prior. I had realized, that there was someone new. She was really sweet to me. I just told her I'm here, my 1 o'clock appointment. And Moni G's like, just calm down. It's obviously not even the girl you talked to on the phone because it wasn't all these people that you talked to on the phone are in one of their different offices in a different city. You can't, and that's a stupid thing. That's one dumb thing about this office is they have 3 offices but they only have 1 office that has like phones a phone number you can actually call. So when you need to talk to someone in one of the office, you can't. You have to call the one office. They have to give them a message and then they call you back. So stupid. So Moni G is like, just calm down. You just never know. Wait till you talk to the doctor. And I go in, and first and foremost, the medical assistant takes my blood pressure in my heart rate. My heart rate was 142. That's how bad my anxiety was. 142. And I told her, I said, my blood pressure is probably high too. My anxiety is going off the rails because of what I was told. I said, I just can't do this. I can't not have my pump. I just can't. And she's like, well, I don't know what you were told. And she said the same thing that Moni G actually said. And she's like, I don't know what you were told. That must have been somebody in the other office. But, I'll have the doctor come in and see you. Okay. Hold on. Dobes. Hi, Dobie. Says they should have done it one last time in order for you to find a new provider. The most important reason was to prevent drug-seeking behavior and the effects of withdrawal. Yeah. This is what happened. So apparently it wasn't even true. That's not what the doctor said. So that person, and why I said what I said before I started the story about exactly what happened yesterday, is if you work in a doctor's office, please do not lie to the people on the phone. Please don't do that. The amount of stress that you could cause someone, you have no idea. When I went, like I said, when I went in there, my heart rate was 142. So the doctor comes in and explains, hold on, Mitchell says, unfortunately, most doctors and hospitals are for-profit businesses. Yeah. And I get that. 100%. But when I called back and said, how much do I need? It's like if I had to call my dad, if you guys know the story about my dad, if I had to call and beg, I would. It would cost me dearly. But if I had to do that to save this, I would have done it. That's why I called in the first place. It was like, tell me what I need to do so that I can get this filled until this insurance thing works itself out, since I'm still in the stupid appeal phase. And that person telling me that, nope, because you owe money, he's not going to help you. Ever. He's not even going to order your meds, which, by the way, let me mind you, my pump meds are covered by my insurance. So one thing the insurance did cover was the medications. It didn't cover the office visit, which was $150. They charged me $150 to stick a needle in my back. But whatever. So I owed them $300. And I'm like, okay, tell me what I need to do. And that's when I'm told, no, doesn't matter, too late. We're never going to fill your pump again. What the fuck? So the amount of shit that I went through waiting for that appointment, getting there, the anxiety, the heart rate, for 3 hours, my heart rate was over 100. Then to come to find out, that's not what the doctor said at all. I mean, he looked at me and he said, no, he's like, I don't care about the money. Well, that's not true. Of course, it's not true. They care about the money, but he didn't say that. He said, I have no problem keeping you up on your pump. That's not my issue. His issue was, because he's a new doctor, he'd only seen me twice, and both times I had an issue. He worried that I may be a bad candidate. Like, I'm not taking this as a priority because each time he's seen me now, I've had issues. The problem is, I really didn't. It's really, I got forced into an insurance, then never got a bill. And then his concern was, why did you wait to the last minute to call? And I said, I didn't. So apparently, when I called a few weeks ago explaining that I'm trying to save the money, how long will it take? Because they told me even a few weeks ago, you need the $300 before you can come in. And so, like I said earlier, I thought they had my meds. But in his mind, he's like, why did you wait till your pump is almost empty? It takes it because it comes first and foremost, they have to order it from out of state. He's like, the process, he's like, it's going to take days. He's like, why would you wait till the last minute to call? I said, I didn't. And see, that's what part of the thing he didn't know was that I had called a few weeks ago. They wouldn't give me an appointment because I owed them $300 and didn't have new insurance yet. He didn't know that. And they didn't tell him that part of it. And see, this is where the problem lies. When you have to call a doctor's office and you have to talk to the staff, and then they don't even fill the doctor in on the full story, and then they lie to you on the phone because that's not what he said. It's like the amount of stress that that person not only caused me, caused that doctor. You know? Hold on, I'm going to read your comment. Dobie says, a lot of pain medicine anesthesiologist practices merge with a company that does management. It's basically an untrained idiot making their rules. Yeah. Yep. If you went in with the pathology, what's the issue? It's all about malpractice costs. Yeah. And this is why I'm doing this, is because if I can keep one person from giving up because of what I went through years ago, if I can reach one person that works in a doctor's office to not do shit like that, if I can reach one doctor to realize what kind of, what may be happening with your staff for, not giving you all the information and then relaying improper information to your patients on the phone. Like, these are all the problems that I have been dealing with for years and years and years in the healthcare system. And it's disgusting. So thankfully, out of all of this, the doctor is definitely going to refill my pump. He just didn't have the meds. Didn't know that I didn't wait till the last minute to call. Because in his mind, he's thinking, well, this person doesn't really care about her pump if she's waiting till the very last fucking minute, right? And I get that. I get where he was coming from in saying that. But that's the problem. He didn't know because they didn't tell him that I had called trying to get an appointment weeks ago, but they wouldn't make me one. And they never told me they weren't going to order my meds then. I assumed, being a new doctor, but they did the same thing that my other doctor did. They just order the meds so that they're there when your due date is up. So that's where all this miscommunication, because you can't actually talk to the doctor anymore. You can't send a message to the doctor. It's always intercepted by a nurse or a medical assistant or front office staff. And then they relay the message to the doctor. And the problem lies when whoever that intermedium is, that person in the middle, doesn't relay all the information to the doctor and then screws it up because of that. And then comes back and doesn't relay the information properly to the patient. So thankfully, after explaining to the doctor what really happened and how they wouldn't let me come in a few weeks ago, way before last minute, he didn't know that. He gave me a few days of oral meds in case my pump does run out, which was wonderful because I didn't even expect that. I didn't even ask for it. All I cared about at that point was that you continue to maintain my pump. And so the amount of anxiety and grief that staff person caused me is insane. And that's where if you've been here since the beginning of my stream today, I started out saying I'm going to rant because the healthcare system is broken in a lot of ways. But yesterday reminded me the hell I went through for 6 years until I found the doctor that I had prior to this new one, the one that diagnosed me, the one that put in my pain pump, the one that looked at me the first time I met him. He came in that way into the room, patient exam room, and didn't have a laptop attached to his hands. He looked at me like a person. He was probably the first doctor in like maybe out of maybe 10 or 12 doctors that actually did a physical exam like on me to test my strength, this and that. The amount of pain doctors that I went through before him is insane. The amount of pain doctors that I saw that didn't even like, and I don't mean this in any bad, nasty way, touch me as a patient to figure out, do an exam on my leg, my hip, my back. Most of the doctors didn't even look at me because they're just typing. They're listening and they're typing, and it's like they're not even really taking in what you're fucking saying. I knew I was lucky the minute that doctor walked in without a laptop attached to his hands, and I was so thankful for him. And when I tell you he saved my life, he saved my life. I'm not going to talk about it because this isn't the appropriate venue for it, but I had lots of thoughts about not wanting to be here. Never got to the point of ever attempting anything, but the thoughts were there a lot because I was ready to be out of pain any way I could. And the amount of crap that reminded me of yesterday, the amount of shit that I went through, all of it came rushing back yesterday. In the 2-3 hours, I feared I was going to lose what I felt saved my life. Hi, Noodles. Says it took me 15 years to find a doctor to help me and figure out what is wrong, why I'm in so much pain. I found a nurse practitioner and she is the best. Love her. That's so awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Dobie says bureaucracy is the reason for a lot of issues. 100%. That is for sure. And that's where it's like, that's why yesterday I just was like, I just need to talk about it because more than anything, I've talked to several people on here. The more I talk about, what I've been through and my diagnosis, treated like shit, and, just because I express that I'm in pain, trying to find help, trying to figure out what's wrong. Those 6 years were the worst years of my entire life. And I just want to be able to, I'm hoping in me talking about it, maybe I can help one other person. The same reason why women have issues getting SSDI over men. I have 0 issues after an accident getting pain meds, but the system thinks women can just do something different and feel better. Yeah, that's that's a whole nother issue. Because I applied for Social Security disability. I got denied. Michigan is known for always, they deny everybody basically on the first time around. I got a lawyer. I appealed, took 2 years. And those lawyers, disability lawyers, do not take payment unless you win. They're not going to take your case unless they think they can win. Because if you appeal the decision and win, you get back pay up to 2 years if they approve you through the appeal. And then the disability lawyer takes, I think, 20% of it. That's how they get paid. And the amount of shit and evaluations that I had to go through for the appeal process was insane. But the judge that denied my appeal, it was a 7-page denial. I've been trying to find it because I'd love to read it to you guys. I know it's somewhere, but when I last moved, there are still boxes of shit I haven't gone through. But I'll find it and I'll show you guys. But my lawyers were like, they were flabbergasted. They did not understand how the judge came to this decision. Considering all my jobs, used with my degree and without, were on my feet, pretty much. And even if they weren't, I still, as you guys know, I can barely sit for 15 minutes without having to move, stand up, walk around, lay down. Even with my pump, I'm constantly having to move. I can't lay down and sit for a really long time. It's the same mindset as it's the same people making the state rules for medicine requirements. Yes. Yes. It's not even doctors making those decisions. That's the sad part. And that's why these doctors are throwing up their hands saying, well, I'm not going to risk my license because, of these rules. And in Michigan, we have a thing called MAPS. It's Michigan's automated prescription something service or so, I don't know. So they can keep track of every medication, every controlled substance medication that you fill. Doesn't matter what doctor, doesn't matter what pharmacy, they can see it. So you can no longer doctor shop. So if there is a way, and most doctors nowadays, if you're on pain medication or a controlled substance, take urine tests. So if there's a way for them to monitor you, that you're taking it properly, you're not filling more than prescribed, you're not taking it differently than prescribed, why are they so fearful of prescribing it? To the point where doctors just won't prescribe it for anyone anymore. These things are put in place for that reason, and these doctors are just taking the easy way out and saying, screw the patients who need it. I don't care. I'm just not going to deal with it. And that's the problem. Because now you have people out there suffering, having no quality of life because of their pain or anxiety or whatever else that is, you may need a controlled substance to give them a better quality of life. If you have the points, it shouldn't be an issue. Yeah. My appeal case got moved out of state to Pennsylvania, fought my own case and won. That's awesome, Scott. I've heard that a lot of states aren't like Michigan. Michigan is terrible. I've heard Ohio has way better approval for disability. People have actually told me to go down to Ohio. I'm like, I'm not moving to Ohio. If I'm going to move anywhere, I'm going to move somewhere warm. Hi, Charlie. Rachel says, I just joined, but have you tried acupuncture? Like a good one, not a Groupon one. No, I haven't. I thought about it. The problem was way back before I got my pain pump, I couldn't find a place that took insurance for acupuncture, or at least took my insurance. And right now, I can't. The pump works so well that seeing my life without it is like, I wouldn't even know what to do. Now, that being said, if I absolutely had to for, a real good reason, sure, there's a way I'd figure something out. But over $300 to me, like, how can a doctor take away your life? Take away something that has helped you, that you feel literally saved your life for $300. But thankfully, like I said, it didn't come to that. But like I said, that brought up another issue, which I wanted to talk about, like I said, with staff. If you work in a medical or any sort of healthcare office, you need to relay everything about the patient to the doctor that is relevant when you're trying to be the go-between between the patient and the doctor. You can't leave out things like, yeah, I called a few weeks ago and you guys refused to give me an appointment because I didn't have $300. You can't leave that part out because that makes the doctor think, wow, this idiot has a pump and doesn't even care enough to, make sure she's got her shit together. She waits till the last fucking minute. No, that wasn't the case, but he didn't know that. Every state uses a system like MAPS. I fractured my tibia in 1992, and every time I went to the doctor, they gave me 120 to 220 Percocets. Wow. I didn't know all the states has them now. I do know that most of them did. I didn't know they all did. And that's a good thing. But the problem with it though is not that there's anything wrong with the actual system. It's that doctors aren't using it. All these things that are put in place to help doctors still prescribe these responsibly, they're not even being used by doctors because they're just like, nope, I'm not going to prescribe it at all. I'm not going to worry about it. And that just leaves patients out there who need help and can't get it. And then have to suffer. A good doctor like the one I found will put you through every single doctor just so you can get a little relief from pain. That's great. Like when I hear that people that find great doctors, I'm so happy because I know they're out there. I'm not saying that they're not. It's just unfortunate that there's so many doctors, especially when it comes to controlled substances, whether it's for mental health, like whether it's like an anxiety mental health medication like Xanax or Klonopin or Ativan or pain medication or ADHD medication like Adderall, anything that's a controlled substance. There are doctors out there who literally just refuse to ever prescribe a single one. And when you group all of your patients together, like, nope, I'm never going to prescribe this, that's the problem I have. Not only that, my problem then becomes when, and only my knowledge, because I've been through the pain clinic thing for so long, that if you are a pain clinic and all you do is offer ibuprofen 800 and lidocaine patches, you can't call yourself a pain clinic. I'm sorry. That's no. You can get that shit at Walgreens or CVS or Kroger or anywhere else. Dobie says, I had someone with 4 social security numbers and names because she was born in a small southern town and her mom created new names to defraud welfare. She was using multiple doctors for pain meds. Oh my God. See, and that's what the problem lies, is that a small group of people who abused the system, abused medications, they ruined it for everyone, unfortunately. Took me 15 years to get a script. Oh my God. This is what I'm talking about. This is not how it should be. People shouldn't have to suffer to the point of literally not even having any sort of quality of life because doctors are too scared to treat them. I'm in New Jersey and was found 100% disabled in 2022. Never applied. Union will allow me to collect disability from pension at 52, and that's next year. So I'll wait it out. Congrats, Dobie. That's awesome. The addicts cost us our relief. Exactly, Dobie. Exactly. They screwed it up for the people that need it, that used it and will continue to use it responsibly, but also need it to have a good quality of life. And my point in wanting to spread awareness is that these systems that are being put in place by these bureaucrats and CEOs, business people, businessmen who know nothing about healthcare, some of them are decent systems like MAPS, I get it, but then they're not being utilized. I know I've said it like 10 times already, but these doctors that just throw up their hands and say, yeah, there's systems put in place now to make sure people aren't, abusing these meds and doctor shopping and this and that. But I'm not going to use those. I'm just not going to deal with it. To me, that's now their problem. If you're a doctor, you can't just decide that the people that are grouped in with needing a controlled substance are no longer worth treating now. Doctors who wrote scripts out for money caused this reality. Yes, caused this really. Yep. Yep. What do they call them? Pill mills? We had quite a few of them found here in Michigan years ago. Mom, dad hurt their ankle and got a script and liked it. Oxy Purdue sold it as non-addictive, and medical professions knew it wasn't. Yeah. If you guys, I talked a little bit about this. I've seen the movie or like series called Dope Sick on Hulu. Apparently, there's a documentary also called Dope Sick. They're two different things. I haven't seen, I guess, the documentary. I've seen the show with Michael Keaton, which shows how it all started, how Big Pharma, Purdue, sold the doctors on the fact that it wasn't, Oxy was not addictive. And they screwed it up. But that's my point, is that at some point it's not just big pharma. It's the doctors who literally just say, now, fuck it. I'm never going to prescribe any of this shit. Who cares if I have a patient that may need it? Scott says, my judge said you got 2 legs, 2 arms. Denied if you appeal your case. I'll deny it again. Did not care about amputated toes. Walk with a, yeah. Oh, you walk with that brace. I forgot. Yeah. And just because you have 2 arms and 2 legs doesn't mean you're not disabled. I'm sorry. And judges like that are assholes. Sorry, not sorry. Mitchell says, damn, malpractice lawsuits spoil it for everyone. Yep. I herniated 11 discs and have 2 partial amputations, and they want to try epidurals and nerve blocks, and it will take 3 years to do it all. Oh my God. I've been through all that in the 6 years that I went through hell. Yeah. I did everything that they do to treat pain. I had a stimulator put in. I had, I tried every non-controlled substance pain medication there is. Cymbalta made me sick. Lyrica made me puke. Lidocaine patches don't help because the pain is in my bone, not my muscle. And everywhere else now. I'd be literally lining patches up my entire fucking leg and hip and groin. Like, you can't do that. You can only take so many NSAIDs. Muscle relaxers, again, only help with muscle pain. So, what do you do? Hey, guys. Hi, sweetie. By the way, I still have to give I keep doing this everywhere I can, saying how awesome Side Eyes and her son were. I had a lot of pain and an anxiety attack being in that large social situation in Tennessee. It was awesome. I had a great time, great people. But it was too much people. My social anxiety is bad. I'm a homebody. I stay at home. I work from home. I don't go out all that much. And that big crowd was a lot. And Side Eyes and her son got me 2 chairs, got me a place way down in the corner away from everyone so I could cry and get my anxiety attack under control and, not be in front of everyone. And then I was going to walk to the car. Wasn't that far to the car, but it was up a steep hill that I almost fell twice on. So thankfully, I didn't have to do that. Thanks to 2 wonderful people. Side Eyes and her son, like I said, got me 2 chairs, a cool cloth, a little place that was cooler because it was hot as hell in there. And you guys already know, if you've heard me talk about going through menopause and always being in a permanent hot flash nowadays. Whew. And people like that, I love it. I love meeting people. You just know right away they have warm hearts. They care about others. Everybody around me down there in Tennessee was wonderful. And it was amazing what, her son reminded me a lot of my son. Kind of looks like my son. I wish I could show his picture, but I won't do that to him. Yeah. But reminded me of my son. He's 23 now. Her son's still a teenager, but just sweet and, yeah, Mom, I'll help you. Whatever you want. And my son was the same way. It's the same way. Oxycontin Express is a great documentary. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna write that one down. I haven't seen that one either. I've seen a few of them. I gotta get my notebook over here. I write things down nowadays so I don't forget. Because the brain fog with the CRPS and anxiety I get in the it's awful. Some days are better than others, but Oxycontin Express. Thanks, Dobie. Another normal mom. Hi. I don't want to cause any addictions, but kratom can be very good for pain. It's natural, but it is still addictive, not if used too wisely. I don't know anything about that. I like learning, though, so I'm going to write that down, too. Now, I can't remember. Who was it that I asked if they wanted to come on and talk to me about shit. Now I can't remember who it was. Talk to me about ketamine therapy. I'm going to have to go back to my live the other day, unless you're on watching that said that. I can't remember who it was, because I'd love to learn more about the ketamine therapy and like anxiety and depression. And because I talked about it the other day. I had my experience with ketamine was crazy. I only had it once. I was given to me for pain when they thought I had subluxated my implant, my hip implant, by falling in the tub. I was in so much pain. They couldn't get it under control. So they tried the ketamine, and oh my God, I said, never again. Please don't ever give me that again. Woo! But I have heard a lot of good things about the infusions that they do. And I really want to learn more about it. Someone, I can't remember for the life of me who it was, said they'd come on and talk to me about it because I want to learn about it. Toby says, I know that Oxy-Purdue video is on here from the 90s and everyone in it took their life or OD'd. Oh my God. That's crazy. I haven't seen that either. I'm going to have to look it up. Toby says, Scott, that's why I was worried about applying. Lost a decent portion of my right foot and only my left toe. People don't know how bad that hurts and issues it causes. Oh, I do. Hold on. I'm going to show you guys something. In case you haven't seen this. I showed it once or twice before. But in case you haven't seen the McGill pain scale, this is, let me put it up on the screen. Thankfully, I have not had anything amputated, but I know amputations were the worst of the worst until I saw this. Well, it still is the worst of the worst, but that's where, if you guys haven't seen, if you don't know much about CRPS, which is complex regional pain syndrome, normally occurs after an injury or surgery. Oops, hold on. My computer is freezing up. Shit. It says, if you see this, it shows you from a scale of 0 to 50, 0 being no pain. Oh, come on, computer. Okay, so 0 being no pain. And then you've got, so about a 10 is a sprain, 20 is arthritis, toothache, nerve pain from shingles. Then you get somewhere in the middle between 20 and 30 is your non-terminal cancer. And then you've got chronic back pain, phantom limb pain from amputations, and fibromyalgia up around 30. And then you have childbirth. It says with training and no training. I really don't think there's much of a difference with breathing exercise and that, but I don't know. But basically childbirth is up at 40, which is where, right on the left here, you'll see amputation of finger and toe and CRPS are pretty equivalent right at the top of the pain chart. Another normal mom says, I'm getting surgery on my feet this winter, but I'm scared of the pain. Oh, what kind of surgery? I have to ask, but don't be scared. Just make sure you advocate. Don't suffer to the point where you, and the biggest thing I can ever recommend for post-op, just out of this is my own personal experience. So all I can say is my own opinion. And the biggest thing my doctors that I work for now and worked for in the orthopedic surgeon's office is don't let the pain get out of control. Because once you get out of control, it's harder to play catch up. I know that's easier said than being done sometimes when you're trying to, spread a very small prescription out. Because post-op, it's like these doctors, these surgeons are now so limited to what they can prescribe post-op and then how long they can prescribe it for. But all I can do is tell you, advocate for yourself. Do not suffer unnecessarily. And make sure that you're taking your medication responsibly, the way it was prescribed. And then if you don't need it, don't take it. So that you don't hopefully get to the point where you feel you need it and then somehow end up getting addicted. Because they are very addicting. Thankfully, I don't feel I was ever addicted. My body was dependent on them, but that's another thing. There's a big difference between being dependent and addicted. Muscle relaxers, yeah. I take Xanaflex, and they do help when I have muscle pain, which I do get because of all the tension and other pain I have. And I have to lay in certain weird ways because I'm trying to get comfortable from one pain that I cause more, muscle pain. It's just, ugh. So they will give you a nerve block and they work good. The nerve blocks they worked for me for a little while. They gave me some relief for a little while. The problem is they don't work forever on everyone. And some people, they don't work a lot or at all. So my thoughts and prayers are with all of you having surgery coming up, or dealing with pain, or chronic pain, or anything of the sort. And I'm thankful for you guys here listening to me talk about this bullshit, but I think it's important. I know a lot of times I like to go on here and provide some laughs. Somewhere you guys, we can get away from all this kind of shit, the stresses and crap that we deal with in real life. But I think this is yesterday what I went through and what it brought me back to. I just really wanted to talk about it. Get it out there. If anyone else is, dealing with it, spread awareness, get some ideas, learn some things, all of the above. Muscle relaxers equals peeing myself. Ooh. I'm sorry, Dobe. Really, I don't even know anything about a nerve block. I hope it works. Yeah, I mean, a nerve block is basically an epidural. You basically go in and they stick a bunch of numbing medicine in there to block all the pain coming from nerves. The problem is they don't always work, and they don't always last long. And when they do work, they don't work forever. So you not only have to keep getting them I think insurances allow you to get them every 6 months. At least I think that's what mine was, or 3 a year. I think you're allowed 3 a year. I think that's what it was. So I'll be praying that they work for you, sweetie, and give you some good relief. I had one after my last amputation due to necrosis and a bone infection. Oh, God. I'm so sorry, Dobie. Side Eye says, you weren't going out there alone. We just needed to separate you and give you a space. Thanks, Side Eyes. Yeah, I'm way behind, but you were awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you knew that I was very thankful for what you did and your son. Painkiller with Crazy Eyes from OITNB. Wait, I don't know what that is. Look it up. Okay, hold on. So Kratom, Kratom. I'm gonna look it up. No, I didn't like the ketamine. Sorry that I'm way behind. I'm gonna try and catch up. So, yes, I see them. I get them not infusions, but up the nose. Oh, okay. Yeah, clinical settings. That's how the ketamines work. Yeah, but see, the ketamine infusions, from what I understand, but that's why I asked, was it you, another no mom, that you said maybe you talked to me about it? Somebody did, and I can't remember who the fuck it was. I can't remember the dosage that they gave me, but like a ketamine dosage for pain is different than like the small infusions that they do, as far as what I understand. But that's why I want to learn more. I don't know enough. Just seeing the word child's birth makes me nauseous. I spent 20 years, I still have PTSD. Yeah. Surgery I heard is very painful. I'm afraid if they don't give me anything, I won't get the other one done. Well, I don't think they can let you have surgery without giving you anything. It's just, I would ask in advance what the post-op plan is for pain. And one thing I can recommend too, besides having a plan in place, make sure you know exactly who to contact if it's after hours and you're in pain that you can't get under control. Please make sure that you have a number, a portal, something that you can reach out so that you're not suffering. Because the minute the pain gets out of control post-op, it is so hard to play catch up. So one of the biggest things I can say from personal experience. I have had 2 surgeries on one foot and 7 surgeries on the other. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, you guys. You guys have all been through hell too, huh? Kristen said, I had shingles and gave birth. Good to know where the pain levels are. Yeah. Orange is the new black. Yeah. I mean, this pain scale, it does say right here, but in case you guys don't know, there was a pain scale put out by Big Pharma. That's not this. The McGill pain scale is, and it says right here, uses the term rigorously tested scientific pain scale. Overall score is determined by compiling various numerical and cross-reference descriptive words, allowing direct comparison across conditions. So they go and they update this all the time. And if you see right here, it says the pain that one feels with CRPS RSD is a burning, stabbing, shooting type pain. It is considered to be one, if not the most painful long-term conditions there is. On the McGill Pain Index, it scores a 42 out of a possible 50, above both childbirth and amputation. So that is the kind of pain that I was experiencing on a daily fucking basis. And I had doctors sending me out of the office with lidocaine patches and Motrin. Like, thanks, dude. Really? You think I haven't fucking tried that before? Painkiller is the movie on Netflix. Thank you. I wrote that down. So I'm going to have to check that out. I don't have Netflix, but maybe when I get a little extra, I will get it so I can watch some of these. So it says, Kristen, shingles are the worst. I'm the lucky one that had the vaccine, still got them, and got fooled that it was a one-time thing because I have flare-ups a few times a year. Yeah, oh. I'm so sorry. Kristen says, I've gotten them twice, once at 20 and once at 40. Oh my God. Yeah, I have never had shingles, knock on wood, because my dad did have shingles. And now my dad is, if you guys have heard me talk about my dad, you know, I'm not going to say much here, but he doesn't do well with people that are sick. But yet, when he had shingles, oh my God. He was the biggest whine baby. The second one was on my head. That one hurt like a bitch. I'm so sorry. I can't imagine. I did see though. My dad was in pain, that's for sure. I'm not saying he wasn't. He just. Mother Norm Mom says, damn, I just refused the vaccines in March. Well, that's the problem with the shingles vaccine, is that it doesn't necessarily keep you from getting them. I don't know off the top of my head, like, what the odds are of getting them with the vaccine, but I know you can still get them, and they are painful. Hold on, I'm looking up this kratom. C-K-R-A-T-O-M. Is that it? Oh, my stomach's growling. Okay, so it says, what is it? Let's see. Here's a Mayo Clinic. Let's see what they say. Oh, Mayo Clinic says unsafe and ineffective. And see, and one of the other biggest things, in my opinion, do not use just one website or one medical when you're looking up things about anything in healthcare, in any avenue of healthcare. Make sure you look up lots and lots of different medical sites, hospitals, journals, and then make your own decisions, because sometimes hospitals vary. Doctors vary. We know all this. So it's unfortunate sometimes even, and I know this because I did studies. That's what I did. Concentrated on research in college, is that studies aren't always reliable. And without going into details about that, because I could go off and about all that, but I'm not going to. I just say that make sure you do your due diligence and search lots and lots of stuff. Do lots of research. Don't take one article. So right here, this is the first thing I see when I see Kratom. I look this up and it says unsafe and ineffective. Users swear by Kratom for lifting mood and boosting energy, but there are many safety issues and questions about whether Kratom works. So, but let's see. I just really want to know right now. I'll do some research on it later. But I kind of want to know, like, what. Let's see what else there is. It's a tropical evergreen tree, family native to Southeast Asia. It is indigenous to Cambodia. Okay. Has been used in herbal medicine since at least the 19th century. This is what is the drug kratom used for? It says it is a tropical tree native to Southeast Asia whose leaves are consumed for their dual stimulant and opioid-like effects. People primarily use it as a self-treatment to boost energy, relieve chronic pain, ease anxiety, and manage opioid withdrawal symptoms. The effects of kratom depend heavily on the dosage consumed. Low doses acts as a stimulant. Users report increased energy, alertness, sociability, and focus, similar to the effects of caffeine or a stronger stimulant. High doses acts as a sedative and pain reliever. Users report feelings of intense relaxation, euphoria, and relief from physical pain. Opioid management. Many individuals use it to self-treat opioid use disorder or mitigate withdrawal symptoms, seeking it as a legal, natural alternative to prescription opioids. Definitely interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to digging into that. I want to do some research on that. Yeah, I mean, with vaccines like that, the shingles vaccine's been out for a while, and if it can help, why not? Worst case scenario, you're going to get shingles still, but maybe not. So, yeah, I agree. Blessed says, I have the nerve block for my last few foot surgeries, and the pain afterwards was manageable, but definitely not fun. But I'm allergic to all pain meds, so I can't take much anyway. Oh, that's right, Blessed. That's right. I remember you saying that. Because I talked about how I'm allergic to codeine. I literally felt like I had bugs under my skin. I wanted to rip out my hair. It was awful. Because the place that got affected the most for whatever reason was my scalp, my neck, and like the back of my neck and all down the top, portion of my chest. I mean, oh my God. I got hives. It was terrible. But then other opiates didn't affect me the same way. So, yeah, they don't want people taking it because it can't be FDA regulated because it's all natural. I don't order anymore, but I have reputable sources. Scarlett, you would want red Baki kratom. I'm going to write this down because I want to do this. I love doing research on this kind of stuff. I love learning. So red Baki, REDBAKI. All right. Thank you. Oh, red Bali. Sorry. I just saw that you corrected it. BALI. Okay, so BALI. Okay. Well, I took it today and my back feels better. Just had a physical. I'm healthy. Good. Scott says, no kratom, pass on that stuff. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Honestly. Relief, there's different strains for energy to pain relief. You just have to be responsible. That's all. Very responsible. Yeah, and it's kind of goes, I think, with the same thing as marijuana and THC. I think anything like that isn't monitored by doctors and the DEA. Not that I truly believe in like the whole DEA crap either, though, because I don't think they did things right in a lot of actual pain medicines that are out there. But that's my opinion. But I like learning, and like I said, thankfully, thankfully, right now, I don't have to worry. My doctor is going to fill my pump. I do owe them money, but that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm working, and I have my YouTube show I'm working on, and yeah. I think I'm back down to 408, so I need 92 subs. So yeah, like, subscribe, and share. And if there's anything that you can help donate to the channel, everything right now is going to medical expenses. I have my PayPal. I Buymeacoffee, and a Givesendgo that my friend made for me. I think I have, what did I pin in the chat? I forgot. I think I have my PayPal and Buymeacoffee pinned in the chat. My PayPal QR code is in the top right corner, and all of my links are in my bio. If you go to my page, and you'll see links, or my bio, they're all in there. So thanks. Another normal mom says, "It's healthier than Oxy." You're probably better off being allergic to them. Well, see, the sad thing is about being allergic to them is that when you are in pain, what do? When you have to have surgery, what do? Like, we've had patients that needed a hip replacement or knee replacement who are allergic to all opiates. And trying to manage the pain is so difficult. So difficult. I mean, thankfully, it's not a pain that's going to last forever. But, it's not easy. And I commend all of those people that have to suffer stuff like a major surgery and then have to, recover without any basic pain, any pain relief, really. What Tylenol and Motrin would give you. It may relieve it a tiny bit, but post-surgical pain is bad. It's not fun. I at least don't have to worry about getting addicted. Yeah, that's definitely a good thing. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, there is that. But I can't imagine having to go through like a surgical pain, post-op pain, without without anything but Tylenol and Motrin. I don't even. Can you take Tylenol and Motrin, Blessed Texas? Is it only opiates that you're allergic to? I wish you lived in Massachusetts. You have better health care. You just have to avoid the police. Thanks for making me laugh. Yeah. I mean, thankfully, I've never been an issue or had, a run-in with these. Besides, I've had a ticket before. I've always, years ago, it was like it was all in my 20s. I had the worst luck. Like, all my tickets were impeding traffic tickets. I would get caught speeding, even though I was following traffic. I'd get pulled over. And then, of course, thankfully, they wouldn't give me a ticket with the points, but they sure wanted the money, because an impeding traffic ticket is more money, but thankfully it doesn't put points on your record. I had one supposed rolling through a stop sign, which I totally disagreed with. I tried to fight it. I didn't think the cop would actually show up, but he did. So all I had to do was pay it. And I think that one was like 1 point back then. But I haven't had a ticket in, I think my last ticket was in 14. So it's been 12 years since I've had a ticket. Thankfully, right now, I sold my car last year, so I don't even drive right now. I can take Tylenol and Advil. Yeah, so that's it. Sucks. Did you say you were having surgery? Are you having another surgery? I can't remember now. You guys, some of you are having nerve blocks, and some of you have surgeries coming up. Scott Singh, heart doctor. God, you guys, will have all of you in my prayers. Yeah. So anyway, thanks you guys for hanging out with me this afternoon, just sharing my story about what it's like to deal with pain, chronic pain, and dealing with the healthcare system we have in place right now. It's insane, and I wish it was better. And I hope that, maybe something in the future is done to change some things. Kristen says, I'm off to get my hair done. Have a great night, ladies. You have a great night too, Kristen. Have fun getting your hair done. It's always a good time. It's always relaxing for a woman to go get their hair done. At least for me, it is. I've been doing my own hair for so long now. But yeah. By the way, Kristen, if you're still here, I wonder what you're having done. Are you getting haircut, colored, all of the above? Just curious. And another normal mom says, a lot of people in Massachusetts know one retired good cop to fix tickets. He saved my 20s. Love that guy. No aspirin. No aspirin. Doctor said no. So are you on, Scott, with the heart issue? Do you have something that you deal with? Do you need to be on blood thinners like my mom? I'm just curious. Blood thinners are another thing that are a pain in the ass, because my mom had to take her INR every week. She had a machine at home. She'd have to poke her finger, just like you do a blood sugar test. She have to poke her finger and put the blood in the machine on a little strip, and it would read her INR, which tells you how thick or thin your blood is. And for my mom on Coumadin, they didn't want her below a 2. So she'd have to call every Wednesday, report her INR, and if it was below 2, they'd have to adjust her not warfarin. She was on Coumadin. So it's just another thing that's just it's a lot of maintenance for a very important reason. I do get cortisone injections in my neck and spine and my knee, but the knee one is a piece of cake. Yeah, I did knees because it's funny, speaking of knees, my knees, when I found out I had osteoarthritis, my first doctor, he told me I'd need knee replacements before I was 40. Ironically enough, it was my hips that I needed done. My knees are okay. I've had knee pain since I was in my teens. It's weird because I had leg pain actually since I was a little girl. I would wake up in the middle of the night screaming. My mom would come in my room and have to rub Aspercream all over my legs. Don't even know to this day, I think, what really caused that leg pain that I would wake up with. Because it lasted for years. And then in my teens, I was a dancer. I was a competitive dancer, and I did pom and cheerleading. And I would have days where my second car was a stick shift. And I would have days that I couldn't drive because of the clutch. I couldn't constantly bend my knee to do the clutch to drive because my knee would be in that much pain. And then in my teens, I was constantly told it was, tendinitis. It was, I mean, I don't even know. I can't even remember for the life of me how many things I was told. But my knees swell up even to this day. They get huge bubbles on the top of my knee, like right above my kneecap. It's awful. But thankfully, the cartilage is still, I mean, a lot of it's gone. Don't get me wrong, like my hips, but my bones are not necrotic, which is what caused the worst pain. And so I told my doctor, so you're not touching my knees until I literally can't walk. Like, I'm not going through this shit again. No way. I'll see another normal mom says, I want more info too. Kristen, it's my best friend of 40 years that does it. Oh, that's so nice. I love that. Cut and highlights. Yay. How exciting. I just love it. I love going to get my hair done. It's been a while, like I said. I do it myself now, but it's always a good, relaxing time. I go once the place closes, so we have the salon to ourselves. Then we get dinner and drinks afterwards. Oh, that's awesome. That sounds like so much fun. Yay. It's like party at the salon and then drinks and party dinner afterwards. Jealous. Yeah. I've been trying to dye my silver. It's a dangerous task. I can't even imagine. What does that take to dye your hair silver? Because you have to like bleach it first, don't you? That would be a pain in the ass. Oh shit. I don't have my laptop going or plugged in and it's going dead. Give me a second. Oops. Plug it in. Oh, has anybody seen? By the way, Kristen, have you seen Zach today? If you're still here, I've seen him on the tubes. Now I know that he had a business trip or was doing business or something this weekend, so it's just weird I haven't seen him because normally he's everywhere, and normally you say Zach, Zach, Zach 3 times and he shows up. That's a tough color to get. Yep, it would be a process. That's what I thought. Because I think with silver, especially if your hair is like a darker color and not like light blonde, you have to like bleach it first. It wouldn't turn silver unless you bleach it. Oh, I didn't even read this one. I forgot. I put it up and then forgot to read it. Scott says, I have ticket removed from my records, so will not show up. Oh, nice. It's always nice when that happens. Oh, yep. See, great when it happens. Yep. I never was lucky enough to do that, but I at least because when I say I was unlucky was that when I would get pulled over, the tickets I did get, I think I got in my whole life. I think I got four tickets, and 3 of them were the speeding tickets. One was rolling through a stop sign, which I swear to God I did not do, but all 3 of my speeding tickets were given to me as impeding traffic tickets. And when I say that I think was never lucky, is that I never got a warning ever. Was never like, hey, slow down, or, never a warning. Always a ticket. I sweated through my clothes yet in the AC. Oh, yeah. I'm going for a cold shower. Have a great day, guys. See you later. Another normal mom. You have a great day, sweetie. See you around the tubes. My right knee swells up, says blessed. Oh, yeah. See, the swelling, when it swells, that's when it hurts. Like, it's like if you already have knee pain and then the swelling puts pressure, you have all the inflammation in there, it just makes it that much worse. It's like, oh, that is the best Saturday night ever. No man needed. Yep. Silver hair is pretty. I like it too. It's just, it would be a process, like, especially with my hair because it's dark. naturally it's like brown, and I dye it purple now. So I haven't seen him actually, says Kristen. Yeah, I haven't either. It's weird. I hope he's okay. Like I said, I thought I thought I saw him say he was going on a business trip or something somewhere. So maybe that's all it is. Just busy. But normally I see him somewhere. Buy another normal wait, normal, yeah, going to have a cold shower. Yep, I totally understand that. I've had my air on 68 and my fan on full blast. Holy shit. Especially yesterday. It was so bad. I couldn't even open my blinds yesterday because the sun was shining. And I love it. The sun doesn't shine like that a lot in Michigan. So on days when it's like that, but it's so hot that you can't even turn or open your shades because it'll just ruin the air, that you have on. So it sucks. Kristen says, I'll message him. I messaged him, I think I didn't check, but I did message him about Monday. Because we're doing Mondays with Zach, right? So I wanted to see if he had a picture. Oh, nope, I thought he did message me back, but didn't. I was hoping that he had a picture that I could turn into a cartoon for our Mondays with Zach. You know how I do my thumbnail? And the last I saw him, I asked him if 2 o'clock would still work. And that's what reminded me about his business, because he said he should be just getting home about then. And then he goes, oh, no, wait, I'm getting home Sunday night, so it should work. So tomorrow, our Monday should be Monday with Zach at 2 p.m. But before I make the thumbnail and put it up, I wanted to first foremost get a picture so I could turn it into a cartoon. And then I wanted to make sure it was still okay. But I haven't seen him around. Hi, Melissa Jane. It's good to see you. If you hear from him, Kristen, tell him I sent him a message and I need a picture for my thumbnail on Monday. Sorry, I had a message. Someone did message me, so I messaged them back. Melissa Jane, how are you doing, sweetie? I'm doing okay. Oh, that's a good idea, Kristen. Sorry, I just saw that. Yeah, that's a good idea. But I also still don't want to do it until I confirm that, he's still going to make it. I mean, he did kind of confirm, but I always, I got to double check. But that's a really great idea. I didn't even think of that. Duh. I'm retarded sometimes. But Melissa Jane, I'm doing okay. I had a rough day yesterday. That's what my first, 2 hours or hour and a half of the stream was all about, explaining my story of 6 years bullshit system in the healthcare, dealing with chronic pain, and then what happened yesterday. But thankfully, it all worked out in the end. So today was just a little vent rant on the healthcare system and the shit that happens. And I know that other people deal with some of this shit too. And it's just, if I can give a place for you guys to vent about it too, talk about it, maybe spread some awareness along the line. And hey, who knows? But yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make it. And then that's what I'll do when I get done here. I'm going to make one with that. And then I'll send him the thumbnail and see if he likes it. I need to hey, Kristen, if you're still here, what's a good idea for like a picture? Like, because did you remember the one that I did of me and Kazi? I did one, shit. it was like a few weeks ago where I made a bunch of different pictures of me and him as like little baby characters, having tantrums and getting grounded. So, give me an idea of one I can do with Zach. I can't think of anything. Normally, I ask my chat GPT Wanda. Ooh, Zach chasing girls. That's a good one. Zach loves girls sliding into his DMs. Oh, I like it. I like it. Hold on, I gotta write it down so don't screw this up. I just want to make a funny one because Zach knows I like to laugh. I like to provide a place where you guys can come and laugh. So I want to make it funny. Oops. Okay. Getting yelled at by creators. Ooh, that's a good one. Getting yelled at. Because I want to do something like I said, like I did that one of Kazi where there was like I did like 4 or 5 pictures and then like grouped it in and made one thumbnail of all those pictures. So that's what I want to do again with Zach and me. So getting yelled at. I could do one getting yelled at by TB. That was a good one. What did Aiden call him again? I can't remember. That was funny. Sure the thumbnail will be great. Oh, thanks. Do Zach kissing fish from his avatar. Oh, that's a good one too. Thanks, Mitchell. You guys have awesome ideas. Melissa Jane says, Mitchell, that's what I first thought as well. That's too funny. Tard? Call him Tard. Baker hitting Zach with a rolling pin. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, now I was just going to say that, Kristen. I'm like, now I have lots of options. I should do Zach getting hit by the Spinkinator since the Spinkinator is missing. But we'll do rolling pin because, he's Baker. Yeah, I do. These are such great ideas. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then you guys, tomorrow, Crispy Treat's going to be joining me tomorrow. Hellfish Haven, I reached back out to because we had talked about doing something this weekend about PTSD, mental health awareness, especially in veterans. I was looking forward to that, but I haven't heard back from Hellfish. So I sent him a message. Hopefully he'll get on it. Hopefully he'll get on with me sometime this coming up week. I asked him if Tuesday would work. So I'm waiting for a response. I just sent it earlier today. So, yeah. So that's really what's coming up. Crispy Treat's going to be joining me tomorrow. We're going to talk some shit with JLR. She's going to, I don't know a lot about JLR. If you guys do, she's going to give me the lowdown, especially with what happened in Arizona and his covering of the Nancy Guthrie case. And then I also put up a poll in my chat or in my community posts that what like the next psychological phenomenon you'd be most interested in. So if you haven't voted, please do. I put group thinking, which is winning right now. Authority, which is like the Milgram experiment. I went over that once for a small portion of time, but that was a long time ago. So I kind of want to revisit some things. Personality disorders, and then the crab effect. The crab or crab bucket effect, however you want to call it. It's known as a couple different things. But they're all interesting. They all intertwine, I believe, together in the TBDS and anti-Karen Reed community. So I thought let's start with one by one. Whatever you guys are most interested in talking about first, let's do it. Hellfish! I was just talking about you. I sent you. I made a new TwitTwat account just so I could message people. I'm not gonna interact with it and all that, but I sent you a message so that I made a new account so that I could at least message people like you. So when you want to stream with me, please message me back. I sent you seeing if maybe Tuesday at 2:00 would work for you. If not, let me know when will this week, what's best for you, because I'm looking forward to it. Good copy, we'll check. Great. Sounds good, Hellfish. So yeah. Oh, before I forget, I know a lot of people are gone now that we're here, but there's one thing I wanted to say. And I pulled this card that Akasha, you guys saw me. I think I showed you guys the deck, and we did this one time. She sent me the deck of cards that was on my Amazon wish list. Tuesday's awesome. Sounds good, Hellfish. Tuesday at 2:00 is if I send you a link, because I'll work on the thumbnail today too when I do mine and Zach's for Monday. And I'm gonna do mine and Crispy Treats for tomorrow. And then Tuesdays I'll work on ours. And then I send you the link for StreamYard on the TwitTwat. Is that okay? Or do you want me to email it to you? Whatever's best for you. Just let me know. But anyways, for my deck, it's the 54 emotional insight cards. And I've been doing these myself once a day because they're amazing. I did one once online or, on a live. And I want to read this. And this is card. And me picking this card has led me to say what I'm about to say. So first I'm going to read you the card. So it says, be found without losing yourself. Connection doesn't mean merging. And it says, and then on these cards, it gives you like things to do. But it says reflect, ask, and commit. So it says reflect. Do you over-adapt in relationships to keep the peace? Yes, I do. Ask, when do I silence parts of me to stay connected? A lot. I really can't say when because I do it a lot. I've talked about it before where I even say sorry to the point where, even if I'm not at fault or don't feel I'm at fault, I will say sorry in a relationship because I just don't like confrontation. And then the last thing says, commit to one moment this week where you won't edit yourself. And this is what's going to lead me to what I'm about to say. So, and I have been debating addressing this or not for a couple days. And all I'm going to say, and I'm still going to edit because there's no point in going into it. But I'm going to choose not to edit by not addressing it at all. Which is, if you guys, any of you may have seen something said about me, I'm not sure. I know some things have been said. And last weekend, I talked about some of my opinions, but I was on my own channel and I felt that I could express those opinions. But I don't know if I've listened to what I've said, but I did not mean anything bad towards anyone by what I said. I don't think negatively about anyone that I've met in this community, been part of their channel. When I talked about leaving like chats and Discord, it was because of my anxiety and things I was dealing with mentally. It had nothing to do with anyone else. And now, apparently, things are being said about me that aren't true. Sorry, I didn't want to cry about this because I don't want to make it a thing. I don't want the people that are talking about me poorly to take this as an opportunity to do it some more. So it was like, I didn't even want to address it, but this is, I said many times to people that you couldn't pay me enough to go back to high school. And this is why. Like, sometimes the stuff that goes on online and on the tubes and in the chats and on Discord and Twitwat and all this can be blown up. Things are spread that are true or are not true or exaggerations. It doesn't even matter. I don't even know how all this started. By me expressing my own opinion on my own channel. But it did. So I just want to apologize. If I hurt anyone by what I said, I am sorry. I don't hate anyone. I don't dislike anyone. I don't think anyone is bad. I think everybody has been amazing. So when I see the stuff that's being said about me, it's so hurtful. But if they feel that I've hurt them like by what I said, I am very sorry because this hurts a lot and I am sorry. But this is all I'm going to say about it. And I'm going to leave it and I'm not going to address it again because I just don't want to feed any more drama. None of us are perfect. I know I'm not. I'm whiny. I cry. I talk too much. My anxiety sometimes gets the better of me. I know all this. And if anything that I've said or done has hurt anybody, I am sorry. So I'm going to leave it at that because it's just, this stuff is hurtful to everybody. And I just want everybody that comes here to have a place to hang out with, feel they can express themselves, maybe have a laugh or two. And that's all I ever wanted for my channel. So, I really don't even know what else to say besides that. So I think I will just leave it at that. So I'm sorry, guys. Thank you, Melissa Jane. Thank you, Hellfish. Deep breath, slow down your heart rate, speak your piece, my friend. You've got this. I appreciate you very, very much. That's why, for some of you know that I have a tattoo on my wrist that says "Just Breathe," because I have to remind myself of that a lot. When my anxiety and like this takes over, I sometimes forget to breathe, and that's why things like happened to me yesterday. My heart rate when I got to the doctor's office was 142, and even Moni G had to tell me to breathe. She could see that I'd stopped breathing. So thank you, Hellfish. And I can't wait to have a discussion with Hellfish about mental health and PTSD. All of those things. Folks need to understand praise in public and address negative and private messages. They are there for a reason. Yeah. And I tried that. I tried to reach out to the people that I think I hurt them or believe that I did. And it didn't work out the way I thought it would. And maybe I said the wrong things. And so that's why if those people are listening or end up listening, I am sorry if I hurt you. I did not mean to. I'm sorry if I said something that was the wrong thing to say. But I also know that some things that have been said are not true. And you can't really defend yourself against something you didn't do. But what I did do, I did speak my mind. I did express an opinion, but it wasn't meant as saying anyone was a bad person. It wasn't saying anything about a group of people as bad people. I wasn't saying anything really. It wasn't about people. It was about me and my anxiety. What was hurt, like what was affecting me. It wasn't about anybody being bad people, because I haven't met any bad people here. So unless it's trolls, they desire the negative, so reverse for them. Yeah. Mitchell, thank you. I had to get a service dog to stop me from getting in my own head. Yeah, I qualify for an emotional support pet. I just don't have the money. But that's another reason why my friend made my Givesendgo. And because I deleted my TwitTwat, which is the one place I did have my Givesendgo pinned, all I can I'm not a good grifter. Even when I need money, I'm embarrassed as all hell to ask for it or ask for help. So all I ask, now I have asked, is if you can support or even just share my link, it would mean a lot. I have inner strength tattooed on me to remind me that I'm stronger than I think I am. I like that one. I like that one. Yeah, all my tattoos mean something to me. My right wrist says "Just Breathe," and all of my tattoos I got, like at a significant period of time. So like they all mean something to me, not by just what they are, but when I got them. But my right inner wrist says "Just Breathe." My left inner wrist is my Pisces symbol. My right ankle has the rosary. And my right shoulder, which was my very first tattoo, I talked about it before. Back when I got this tattoo, I was 19 years old. I'll take pictures. I have pictures of them. I'll share them with you guys sometime. But my right shoulder is back when I was 19, it was really popular back then to get tattoos around your belly button. and there were tattoos shaped like, circular. They were designed circular, or, at least it had something empty in the middle where your belly button would go, and the design went around the belly button. So the tattoo that I picked out, I loved it, but it was technically for a belly button, or around the belly button, but I was not going to do that. So I ended up getting it on my shoulder, and what it is, it's a heart made out of water, like waves, has 2 dolphins on each arch, or 1 dolphin on each arch, so 2 dolphins total. And then it has my initials on the inside, written in like a calligraphy, almost like font. And then my next tattoo, which I'm hopefully going to have the other Mary B do for me. She brought her tattoo stuff with us to Tennessee, and I was hoping that she could do even a small one, but we didn't end up getting to it. But what I want to do is get my mom's name, and she was a Sagittarius, so I want to get her name and the Sagittarius symbol on above my rosary. And I want to do that on the one side of the rosary, and then on the other I want to get my son, and he's a Gemini, and I want to get his name and his Gemini symbol on the other side. Old Dog says, you can't please everyone. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but that is how life goes. Can't really care too much about others' opinions. I know this is hollow, but how it is. Yeah, it's true. And like I said, I wasn't going to address it. I didn't know how to address it, because I didn't want to bring more attention to it, because I don't want to cause any more drama for anyone, including myself. And I don't want anyone thinking that I'm saying anything more negative about somebody, because that's not true. I'm not. I don't have. I mean, without going into the whole story, which I'm really not going to do. All I can tell you is that anything that I have said, if it hurt them, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt anybody. I'm not perfect, and I'm sorry. I never, ever, ever said the things that I'm accused of being able to say, or accused of saying. So, I think I'm already bringing too much attention. I don't want to. I just don't want to draw this out. I don't want to cause any more problems for anybody. Anybody. There's enough crap that goes around on the internet, and YouTube especially, and Twitter. Sorry, guys. I normally mute, but I couldn't even wait to blow my nose. But yeah. All right, I'm just gonna stop. But everybody, I haven't met a bad person here. There's nobody bad here, and I just wish that the stuff that is being said about me would stop. But I can't control that either. So I'm doing what I can do. I tried to reach out privately, it didn't work. So I'm doing what I can do here to just. Yeah. I've said it. I don't know what else to say, unfortunately. I have a Hesma, is that it? On my right forearm for protection. I have my Aries constellation and a lady with a flower head on my left forearm to remind me of beauty and creativity. I like that. I love seeing people's tattoos. Maybe I did. I don't know if I said this. I think I did, but I'm not sure. When I said I deleted my Discord, I did. I thought I had deleted the entire thing, but apparently I didn't. So I did start a new Discord channel for my channel, so I would have somewhere to post my lives. So if you guys want to join, maybe I'll if anybody wants to join, please send me an email. But I haven't built it up, like I haven't made like little, the, I don't even know what they're called. I keep saying like the channels that are inside your channel or inside your server. I only did like the welcome one and like the lives, and then I just put one for like all psychological phenomena or things to share. And so maybe I'll put a place where you can share pictures of tattoos, because I love seeing people's tattoos. Plus, it gives me ideas for ones I want in the future. Noodles says, the 2 writings I have on my fridge for a daily reminder is, every day is a new beginning. Take a deep breath, smile, and start again. I love that. And I love writing things like this down, so I got to write it down. Hold on. And one of the ones that speaking of sayings, one of the ones that I actually found the other day, actually it was even before all this happened, and I literally put this in my book, and I want to read it because just remember, it's something to just keep in mind. And it says, just remember, sometimes the quietest people have the most to say, but choose not to. And I like that one because I can relate sometimes. Hold on, I'm finishing writing this down. Oops. Okay. Oh my God, tattoos at Dollywood would be so cool. I would have been so down for that. Yeah, me too, Melissa. I was so excited when the other Mary B said she was bringing down her tattoo stuff, because she's been doing tattoos for like 2 years. And I figured we wouldn't have that much time, but when we all went down there, we all first weren't going to the actual Dollywood. And then and when it was the morning of Dollywood, she decided to go. So we would have been able to have that day if she didn't go to Dollywood. So, but she did. So, and then that night she went and started staying with Moesk. So I didn't get to see her again until the Friday Night Live and then the drive home. So we didn't really have much time to do it. But I'm definitely looking forward to her doing my next tattoo. I can't wait. The other one is, I am in charge of how I feel, and today I am choosing happiness. Let's see, I love writing these down. I love it. I'm just going to take a screenshot of it so I can save you guys me writing it down. Sorry. Yes, good. I'm going to take a screenshot, because these are the things that help me. And if you suffer from, oops, I didn't mean to video record it. Oops, photo. There we go. If you deal with anxiety or anything of the above, sometimes just reading things like this can snap you out of it. Sometimes it can't. But I love these. They always help me to just bring me back to things that matter and things that will calm me down a little bit. Yeah, they are really good ones, aren't they? You put it out there now. All you can do is be you once more. Yep, I can't be anybody else. So, and this is this is who I am, better or worse. I cry, I laugh, I yell, I scream, I talk a lot. I'm opinionated, but I don't mean anybody any harm ever. I don't ever want to hurt anyone. Melissa, I love them, and I have them on my fridge for my boys and my boys and I to read every single morning. That's a great way to start your mornings, honestly. And that's why these card sets that Akasha sent me. Wait, hold on. Akasha sent them. Kristen sent me my bullshit button. I love that button too, though. I'll be honest. That bullshit button helps my anxiety too. But these card sets, the one are coping skills, and the emotional insight cards, that's the one I read the one out of that convinced me to at least address it, because I didn't know if I should, and I felt picking that card kind of like was assigned to me to at least say what I need, I felt I should say. Don't dwell on it anymore. You've got a great soul. Keep on keeping on. Thank you, Hellfish. I appreciate you saying that. One I like to remember is you've made it 100% through all the hardest days. True. These are great, you guys. See, this is the kind of stuff I want for my Discord. This is what I wanted for my Discord in the beginning. I didn't want stress and anxiety for me or anyone else, for that matter. So, if you have a Discord and you want to join, let me know. And I'll send you a link. Because this is what I'm going to add. I just wrote it down. I'm going to add a channel for quotes. Because this kind of stuff is this is the stuff I want in there. Like, put in these quotes. Help me and maybe someone else buy these things. Hold on. I was just ready to make quote channel for Discord, so don't forget that. I actually have a blog on my channel, Getting the Lady Flower Head Tattoo. Aw, I'm going to have to go check it out. This is what I do every day now that I stream, even when I don't stream. I have this notebook. It does me wonders. I write things down so I don't forget. The brain fog I deal with is real awful. So when I do shit like this, I actually remember. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember the full quote. That's okay. But it's perfect the way it is. It helps me every single day with my depression and anxiety. Yeah. And that's all you can do, if you have anxiety or depression or both. There's some things that are even seem so minor and so small, but can make a big difference. And I've said it probably 95% of my lives. I try to say this, but if I can provide a place that you guys can come and just share a laugh for a couple minutes, or vent or rant if you need to. But mostly, I've always just said, no matter what you're dealing with, stress and anxiety in and outside of your home, the crazy world we live in, you need to find a couple minutes of every day to find a way to laugh. Make yourself smile. Take yourself out of your own head. It can make all the difference. So there's so much negativity everywhere that if you focus on it, it's only going to bring you down more. And you know, I never wanted to be a part of something that made someone feel bad or worse or whatever. I wanted to do the opposite. So that's all I can do. I always have to write things down and I totally forget. Yep, that's me. I can literally be mid-sentence and I'm like, what the fuck was I saying? Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will. That is what I live by. I would not recommend. Oh God, do I know that feeling? That's how when I tell people, I've talked a little bit about this before too, is that when I tell people that if I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck. Like the things that happen to me, like it's crazy. It's insane. It's always one thing and then it's another and then it's another. And it's like, it's that one in a lifetime chance, or not lifetime, but like 1 in a million chance. Like my pump. I talked about this when I had just gotten my pump. It was working so great. I had it for about a year and then it stopped working. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with it? And then after days of going through hell, withdrawal, and the asshole that was at my doctor's office, another intermedium or person in between, tried to tell me it was all in my head. That I literally suffered for days before going to the hospital because, and it was like, no, there's something wrong with my pump. It's not working. Come to find out, it was broken. The catheter that goes from the pump to inside the spinal fluid had severed. So I wasn't getting any of the medication. So then I had to get it replaced. And apparently, like 1% of all pumps do this. Like 1%. I'm 1%. But that's the kind of shit I deal with a lot. Troubleshooting through life, it's just how my brain works. Yep. But that's where, like, we all need to laugh. We all need to smile, even if it's just for a minute. So if you're having a good day, a bad day, a really shitty day, I was hoping to have a place that you guys could come hang with me, get some stuff off your chest if you need to, laugh if you want to, if you need to, that kind of thing. That's all I wanted. I'm not really into drama and negativity. I have to step away from it a lot. I just want to be silly. It's why I make silly shorts, to make people laugh. And that's exactly it, Melissa. That's exactly it. That's exactly how I feel. And yes, I rant. Yes, I opinionated. I'm going to share my opinions. My channel isn't going to be always, laughing. But in between the seriousness of the things that we will talk about and have talked about, we will have some laughs. Because even in the serious stuff, you have to find a way to laugh and enjoy a moment, because life will just keep taking you down if it's all negative all the time. It doesn't mean that the serious stuff isn't serious and that we don't take it seriously, or I don't. But it's also that I know you can't only focus on the negative because it'll get you nowhere. So people need to laugh. Exactly. And I'm going to leave us with that because that's it. People need to laugh. Perfectly said, old dog. So I just want to thank you guys all so much for being here and hanging out with me today, listening to a bit of my story. And I will be back tomorrow, probably at 2 p.m., but I'm still waiting on Crispy Treat to see if that works for her. But stay tuned. But I will be back on Monday at 2 p.m. with Zach, if all things go as planned. And then 2 p.m. on Tuesday with Hellfish. So I hope that I will see you guys then. I hope you guys all have a wonderful Saturday evening and the rest of your weekend. Oh, I see you. Hellfish says, thank you kindly, Scarlett. I found your message. Yay. Okay, I will go check it once I get off here. I will plan for us Tuesday then, Hellfish. Sounds great. But you guys have a great, great weekend. I love you all. Bye, guys.